What's up, everybody? It's Joe and Taylor coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. We wanted to hop on and do a quick live. It's been a little while. Get the podcast filled. I've been traveling quite a bit. Today, we just really want to talk about the process we went through from being a very heavy listing and buy-side real estate team to continuing to being a very heavy buy and list side team, but adding in the fact that we try to buy every single house that we list. Unsuccessfully, we still list a ton of properties. Our team will do 650 units this year, with probably 250 of them being listings. But Taylor, we do try every time our agents list a house. We're like, well, how can we buy the thing? So maybe take us back in history, Taylor, a little bit to, you and I have been at this 20 years now. It's our 20-year anniversary. You need to get me like a golden egg or whatever it is you get for 20. Talk about the process, because I don't know, for a solid 15 years of our career, we were not investors in real estate. We'd come across deals. Man, I wish we could buy this thing. But we had, I don't know if it's scar tissue from the recession or what it was, but maybe talk a little bit about what our hesitancy was, or kind of what our struggles were that maybe other people deal with when it comes to real estate investing.
So I believe our story is probably the same as everybody else's, as far as why they did or did not do something. And for me, I came from a construction background, property development background, W-2 employee. And I think getting into real estate back in 2005 was such a massive shift from putting in, 40-hour weeks and collecting a paycheck to now going out, sometimes working an hour and getting a $15,000 check. And it was such this radical, different world that I had ever been in. I was so excited to live in that world and to make money based on not just trading hours for dollars. And I think for that experience for me was somewhat of a catalyst for the investment side, because we were finding great houses and selling them to friends. And Joe and I were just talking, we just had a conversation this morning about a whole development that we found. And it was like 15 houses that were in distress back in 2010. This entire development, we called our buddy that we knew was an investor, and we said, hey, we've got 15 houses that will sell for 60% of market value. Do you want to take these? And of course he took them and made, I don't know how much, paid us like a $15,000 finder fee. And we thought it was the coolest thing that we didn't have to list it. We didn't have to drive him around. We just gave him these 15 houses and got 15 grand. And I think he probably made $200,000 or $300,000 off that thing.
Yeah.
So as far as I think having those experiences, all of us that have been in this business long enough can look back and say, what did I make off that deal? And what did the end buyer make off of that deal? And when you start comparing the numbers, you realize how much opportunity is there. And it took us longer than I'd like to admit to finally say, why are we taking the 15,000 and letting somebody else have the 200,000? So the first part of it is recognizing the opportunity, knowing that it's there, knowing that it's the number one way to make money is through real estate. So recognizing the opportunity. Number two is figuring out a plan, like how you can participate in that. And getting started, for us, the easiest thing that we did is we formed partnerships with people that had the money, that had the forms, the contracts, that had the experience. And we had, 30, 70, 60, 40, 50, 50 splits that we would find, negotiate the deals. They would come in, close the deals. And so partnership, I would say is the very first and easiest way to get into the market and to be able to take advantage of some of the potential opportunities out there.
Yeah, so we've been told, and I think it's probably true, that every full-time real estate agent comes across 2 to 3 investable opportunities per year. This isn't 2 to 3 properties that 2 to 3 properties that you could take a crack at. This is 2 to 3 deals that could be done every single year if somebody's in full-time real estate. So before we get into the next step of actually doing it, what should people be looking out for? If I'm a full-time real estate agent and I'm showing a lot of properties, going on listing appointments, what should I be looking out for? What do these investment opportunities look like?
Yeah, I mean, the easy answer is the stuff that we all know, like the hoarder houses, the dogs, the breeding houses, the meth houses, the places where there's been a divorce or death. But really, what it all boils down to is motivation. And it's funny, I can go on the MLS right now and type in my little search form, I can do a filter and search motivated sellers. And there's a bunch of agents that write in the comments, motivated seller will take any offer. Like that to me right there is an easy way to even surf the MLS and find potential opportunities. Because it all comes down to just motivated sellers, that there's something going on, that they don't want a lockbox on the house. They don't want a sign in the yard. They don't have the time where they can do a 30, 60, 90-day close. But it's people who have chosen that, they would rather take the money and take it at a lower price and be done with it now than wait and go through the traditional experience. It doesn't mean the house is destroyed. We bought houses in perfect condition, but the seller just doesn't want realtors in and out. They'd rather just not have to clean up the living room and flush the toilet and sell to us than to have it ready every time, every 15 minutes when somebody wants to come show it.
Well, and I think that's probably the misnomer, is that you run a whole investment team now, but I think real estate agents, because we know our craft so well, we see a house and we're like, well, dude, this thing retails for $350. All you got to do is put like 15 or 20 into it, and that's the difference between taking a $250 cash offer or $350. And a lot of people don't have 20 to 25,000 to put into it if they're in a distressed situation. And B, some people just want fast cash. Like I've told the story before about the armoire. Jenny and I, when we got married, this lady gave us a bunch of really nice furniture that she just had. And we went through the process. And at the time, like distressing furniture yourself was the thing. And we painted it white. We sanded all the sides and made it look shabby chic or whatever the stupid term was at the time. And about 2 years ago, it was still in our master bedroom, this armoire. And Jenny was like, I just want this thing out of here. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, just put it on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. And she's like, well, Joe, the corner's dinged and this little patch back here, Porter hit it with a sword or whatever. And she's like, it's just not worth anything. And I was like, well, why would it not be worth anything? And she's like, because we've used it. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm just going to sell this thing myself on OfferUp. And I get to keep every dollar that I sell it for. And I'm just going to go buy random golf stuff with it. She was like, fine. So I sold it for like $175 in 4 minutes. But the principle it taught me was, once somebody uses something, once they know where the pee stains are and the smoke stains are, and they remember their son burnt a hole in one of the cabinets and whatever, they've in their own mind, they're like, I don't even feel good selling this for full value. Just give me cash and I want to move on. So I think one thing an agent has to get into their head is, if you want to get into investing in real estate, you have to understand this is not about talking people into selling their home to you instead of with you. This is about acknowledging the fact that some people just want to take cash offers and move on quickly. So Taylor, let me ask you this. Is it harder to find the money or harder to find the property?
Yeah. We've discussed this before, and it's 100%, 1,000 times out of 1,000 times harder to find the deal than the money. The money is all over. Most of you watching this, we live in America or Canada, like the richest nations on earth. Everybody wants to invest in real estate. Everybody's looking for a deal that they can brag to their friends about.
Everyone that's a realtor gets a text message every day like, hey, do you have any properties we could buy? They go to realtors because,
everybody's got 20 investors in their phone right now that would buy the deal. So, find the deal. The money 100% it's the easiest thing. Finding money is so easy.
Yeah, and if you lock it up right, I think one mistake a lot of agents make, so they'll hear you and I talk, because the next thing I kind of want to finish on is partnership. They'll hear you and I talk, and they'll go like, hey, Taylor, I've got this property. Like, I found a deal for you. And what it'll look like is they'll say, we're listed at 475. RPR says it's 500,000. I think I could get him to take 470. And you're like, well, let me get this straight. You're listed at 475 for 2 weeks. No one has bought the thing. And you think we're going to write a cash offer for $5,000 less than fully marketed like asking price. So this is not true real estate investing. There is no sneaky way about it. What you do is you keep practicing real estate the way you always have as a real estate agent. You let people know when you go to a listing appointment, you just say to them like, hey, listen, a lot of people these days are considering cash offers or full marketing of their property. And let me explain the differences to you. We can either maximize your earning potential on this property, which is going to take a little bit of time and possibly a little bit of money to get it done, or you can get a cash offer and be done in like a week or 2 weeks, whatever your timeline is. Which of those two is more attractive to you? 80% of people may go, yeah, let's just list it. I want full price. But you're going to find 1 out of every 5 that goes, well, tell me what the cash offer looks like. So right there, even just that one little change in your approach as an agent, you're going to find that a lot of people are interested in just taking the cash offer. Yeah. Now, we've got our buy box. Every investor does, but we have bought more expensive properties. I think for real estate agents, intro to real estate investing is very simple. When you come across a property that smells funny, when you come across a property that has probate issues, when you come across a property where the son inherited it from the dad who passed away and the sister needs her money and the son needs his money, like those are times when you get an investor involved. So Taylor, talk a little bit about maybe margin situations. Like what do you look for? Like, because we're not talking to home sellers here on this podcast. This is all about like real estate agents. Mm-hmm. What does a real estate agent need to see in a margin to take it to someone like you as an investor that would make sense?
Yeah. Well, so here, the math, super simple equation right here that you can use every single time and it won't let you down. And this is where you guys get to use your license, because we're all agents. We've been trained how to identify values of properties. And so easy, super mathematical equation. What is the house worth if it was in great shape? What is it worth if it looked like one of Chip and JoJo's flips or property bros had gone in and just got that thing looking dialed? And so once you know what that number is, if it was in really good shape, it's called ARV, after repair value. Let's just say for easy math, after it's been repaired and painted, new floors and the kitchen's tuned up, let's say it's worth $500,000. So math number 1, find out what it's worth when it's fixed up. Math number 2, subtract from its current condition to there what it would cost in repairs. So again, for easy math, let's say its current condition to get to where it looks really good would be $100,000. It's worth $500,000. It takes $100,000 to get there. So subtract the $100,000 from the ARV. So now you're at $400,000. And then math number 3, super simple step, 80% of $400,000. So 80% of whatever it after repairs have been minused, that's your target. So 80% times 4, that's $320,000. Now we would go 70% of that because we obviously are going to try to be as aggressive as possible, but that's going to give you guys a good math. Yep, Joe put it up there for you. ARV minus repair times 80%, boom, there's your buy price. And that'll tell you for us, for any investor, some investors are 78%, some are 82%, but 80% is going to get you in a really good spot where you could take it down yourself and make money, or you could take it to an investor, do a joint JV with them, or you could, get a fee however you wanted to do that. But that is simple math to give you the target.
So just so people understand, Taylor, do you have any gauge on what percentage of real estate transactions in 2025 are happening this way? Like, is it 5%, 10%? Like, we know that it's not 100% of real estate transactions sell for 100% of full market value. There is a large percentage of deals being done with investors. Do you have any gauge on what that number is?
Yeah, I mean, what we know from our title companies is that over 20% of the deals being done in our market are cash. So even that alone, I think if you think about that there's, one out of every 5 or 1 out of every 4, 1 out of almost every 3 in some different types of demographics of our market, people are paying cash. Some of those are investors like us. Some of those are people that sold their house in Costa Mesa and came to Vegas and bought a house. But the fact that they have cash means that they now are a potential partner, somebody that you could work with. So the cash that's out there right now is just there's so much of it, and there's even hard money, and there's ways that you could even do a conventional investment loan to pick these up. There's of course getting into like the sub 2 owner carry, very creative ways to it, but every single deal out there where there's a motivated seller, there's a way to structure it so that you can benefit and make more money in the real estate investment world.
Yeah, guys, I think at its core, you have to remember, as Phil M. Jones says, people do things for their own reasons, not yours. Taylor runs a successful investment team. I think we have 14 or 16 properties in escrow right now on the investment side. It is not a matter of talking people into doing something that they don't want to do. The reality is our entire investment company is based on this very solid principle, which is there are people who want to sell their home fast for cash. So then we spend all of our time looking for those people, not talking people into doing anything, just saying like, hey, Jim, I see that you're behind on your mortgage. Would you consider a cash offer on your property? Jim knows that he could go sell his house full market value if he repairs the mold and everything else. But Jim is just choosing to sell his home cash because that's what Jim wants to do. Mm-hmm. So if you want to run a successful investment business, it's not a matter of learning how to talk people into doing it. It's just a matter of learning how to connect with someone like Taylor, who's a professional real estate investor, find a deal. And the easiest thing in the world to find once you find a true deal is the money. The problem is people, because they don't have the money, they overlook the deals. They almost don't want to go through the awkwardness of being like, dude, my team sells 300 units a year, but I don't want to tell people that I don't have the money to buy this thing myself. People with money don't care. Like, people with money will look at your deal if it makes sense and partner with you. And after doing 5 or 10 of these deals, you may start to go like, all right, cool, I'm going to go to my local credit union and I'm going to get a line of credit, or I'm going to talk to my dad, or whatever it is. Our advice is go the partnership route first before you go the personal finance route. And then once you get the partnership, do a couple of deals there, consider it paid education, and then go into taking down a couple of these deals yourself. Taylor, what's the best way for someone to get a hold of you if they're like, man, I just want to pick his brain?
All right, yeah, you can always hit me up on my cell phone. My Instagram is at Taylor Prince, and cell phone Instagram phone number 702-682-7361. But hit me up. Let's talk. We'd love to just add value to your world and help you guys get your first deal done.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you're finding value in the content you've been consuming, and my goal is to earn your subscription. So subscribe down below so that you get notified when we drop new content every single week.